Rojas.
Well, you talk about seeing everything in football, but often something new just rears itself. There's a good save from Vukovic with the knee. And Nicky Carl, who showed composure. And then the second time of asking, the ball cannoned into Ward. And so often goalkeepers are critical of their players for not following things up quick enough. That time, Mickey Ward tried to do the right thing, but in the wrong place at the wrong time.
Jamison played in by Cazarine. It's going to be another Sydney corner. Corner number 7 for the Sky Blues. Jamison goes deep. German wins the header. Vukovic does well in traffic. Well, despite the scoreline, it's still looking healthy for the Phoenix as far as that top 6 goes, but things off the park haven't been that healthy for the club in recent weeks. Terry Serepisos, the owner, currently in Europe, trying to sort out perhaps a refinancing of the Phoenix, with New Zealand's Inland Revenue trying to wind up the club for more than $3 million in unpaid taxes. That's a big cloud hanging over the future of the Phoenix. Serepisos, though, optimistic he can sort things out. And we certainly hope so as well, because Terry Serepisos, for mine, has been the best owner the A-League has had. Fabulous for New Zealand football, full of passion. And what's happened with the Phoenix since he created the club has been nothing short of a miracle. So we can only hope that Serepisos gets that sorted out, and this club has a big, long future in the A-League.
Yeah, who could forget that run into the final series last year? They really captured everybody's imagination. Those 2 big home finals made it all the way through to a preliminary final here, this venue against this opponent. Coming off the back of New Zealand's wonderful efforts in qualifying for the World Cup. It was really a great period New Zealand football. They've managed to back it up on the verge of another finals appearance.
Late from Daniel, seen by Peter Green. Daniel might be in a bit of strife here, but play allowed to continue. Cazarine tries to turn and create space for the shot. And there's a professional foul from Shannon Cole. So first things first, and Peter Green will have a word to Daniel for that late challenge in midfield.
Probably a little bit lucky there just to get a talking to. He got away with the benefit of the doubt in the first half on Matt German. And that time, another talking to. You'd have to suggest that's his last warning.
Rojas, McAllister, Daniel. Corner Phoenix. There's the challenge by Daniel. It was certainly late. On Seb Ryle it was.
Not sure there was too much malicious, but it was definitely designed to not allow Seb Ryle to get past him.
Wellington's corner. Reddy's been impeccable as well tonight. Hasn't had anywhere near as much to do as Vukovic, but what he's had to do, he's done well. Speaking of Vukovic, he is a long way out from goal. He's left his goal unguarded. Carl just over the crossbar. That would have been spectacular from Nicky Carl. That was difficult. He is very close.
Again,
to make it 2 for Sydney.
It was clever from Sydney again. That ball over the back of the Phoenix defence has proved profitable all night. And Nicky Carl will be disappointed here. He's got the ability to make this happen. In the end, just about a yard or two too strong with the touch.
And that was a great throw from Liam Reddy as well. He would have got the assist.
It was brilliant. It just teased Hearfield, didn't it? Just looped over him. And Nicky Carl knew exactly what was happening.
Well, the reason we hope that Wellington have a future is for situations like this. Daniel is off, and Sean Lovemore, a teenager from Auckland, who's been playing for Waitakere in the New Zealand Football Championship, who was playing for his club in Papeete, Tahiti last weekend, who was drafted into the squad yesterday. Here he is, making his Hyundai A-League debut. Played for the Phoenix in a couple of pre-season friendlies. He's a wide midfielder. Has plenty of pace. Player of the future, identified by Ricky Herbert. This is the biggest stage of his short career. Michaela. Heavy touch from the Finn. McAllister coming back from an offside position. Ricky Herbert's made a change, and now Levitschka will follow suit. And it's an early mark for Nick Carl. He's going to be replaced by Brendan Gann. He doesn't look too happy about it either, because he's in the groove, he's enjoying himself, he senses the goal might be coming. And he's going to be rested ahead of the match against the Melbourne Heart this weekend. The crowd applaud his contribution.
He's been wonderful again, Nicky Carl. So inventive.
Not quite sure about that one, Trimmers. Given the injury problems Carl has had, given the fact that he needs minutes under his belt heading into the ACL, why would you take him off?
Well, only Vidislav Levitschka will know that, but I would have thought he would have wanted to continue the link play he was starting to establish with those two central strikers. They were really starting to get into a groove, particularly Cazarine and Carl. Cazarine's awareness and ability to play him in, and Carl's reading of the situation starting to really bear some fruit. You would have thought with those big games coming up in the ACL, the more time on-field match situation they can get would have been the better.
Here is Gann with his first touch.
As we said, it has been a busy schedule. Perhaps Vidislav Levitschka wanting to protect his star playmaker.
Well, Vukovic pretty relieved that Carl didn't score. It's probably his only mistake of the game coming out so far. Still a difficult angle for Nick Carl, and if that had dropped under the crossbar, it would have been up there with one of the goals of the season. Probably close behind his effort in Perth. A wonderful 1-2 with Cazarine. Ryle. Moriyasu. Now Gann. Cole. Well, he's nutmegged Lockhead. Squares it up. And Brendan Gann off the bench to make it 2 for Sydney FC.
Well, we may have been questioning Levitschka's decision to bring off Nicky Carl, but instant reward for Brendan Gann. But if we were marvelling at some of the footwork of Marco Rojas in the first half, let's have a look at this work from Shannon Cole. There was an extravagant touch back inside to start with, which I thought was perhaps a tad unnecessary, but this little bit of skill's brilliant. He's just bamboozled the fullback and cut it back. They were waiting, queuing up, if you like, to get the final touch. Gann took responsibility and he drove it in off the Wellington Phoenix defender. But wonderful work from Shannon Cole. It was Tony Lockhead who could only stand and watch as he blew past him. Lovely piece of skill.
Second goal of the season for Brendan Gann. That's what you want from your substitutes, an impact. He's done just that. And you would think the game now beyond reach for Wellington Phoenix. And what they have to do now is make sure this scoreline doesn't blow out and provide a glimmer of hope for the Newcastle Jets. I'm sure Branko Kalina's eagerly watching this match, hoping that Sydney find another goal or two. And all of a sudden, the Jets match tomorrow night against the Perth Glory will assume massive significance. As you said at the start of the show, Trimmers, looked to be cut and dried for Wellington, but you never know. A couple more goals here for Sydney, and perhaps North Queensland Fury putting up a decent fight at the Cake Tin this weekend. And nerves will start to creep into this Phoenix squad.
And I think that is the point. Playing under pressure, that kind of nervousness. How will that manifest itself in the Wellington Phoenix players? As we know, North Queensland, they haven't got a care in the world. They can go out there and play.
Of course, the Jets still have to do their part of the equation, which is to win both of their matches. That's at home to Perth tomorrow night, and the F3 derby in Gosford against the Mariners at the weekend.
The old saying, never give a sucker an even break. Ricky Herbert would have wanted to close it out here tonight. Still time for the Phoenix, but Sydney well in control at the moment.
Nick Flynn. Well, there might have been an element of luck about Sydney's first goal, but nothing lucky about Brendan Gann's goal. It was well constructed. Superb lead-up work by Shannon Cole. And a composed finish from the substitute. And probably a fair reflection on the pattern of this game and the disparity, if you like, between these two sides, almost from the first whistle. It's been a disappointing effort from Wellington. Ward with a shot. They'll go for a throw.
Yeah, they can have no real complaints to Wellington.